Welcome to a new edition of After the Whistle. The world is going crazy. It is May 12th. We are here a couple days after Mother's Day. We are here, and it's out of here. Yeah, man. Talk about the importance of your thumb.
You need your thumb. It's very important. Yeah. Without that, what could you do? It's talking about how vital it is when you slap somebody. It's like the mocker, the pivot, boom, you know. Starts it all off.
Yeah, you can punch somebody, you can't slap somebody.
Bro, you can't even punch somebody without a thumb. It's not the same. The thumb is like the...
It's not the... It won't have the same effect.
Yeah, the thumb is like, you know, a pair of jeans, the belt buckle. Or like the button. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, we got a good show for you all today. Some more, we're going to start off again. Well, I mean, we're just going to ramble a little bit again. So, some more wrestling stuff. So, I got caught up on the episodes of that A&E documentary.
I still haven't watched it.
I think it's an 8-part or 10-part documentary. The Heartbreak Kid is next. Shawn Michaels is this weekend. So, I just caught up on Randy Savage, and they showed Booker T this past weekend. You know the first tag team name him and his brother were called the Ebony Express?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. They
G.I. Bro.
Yeah, it wasn't too long, right? He's the original G.I. Bro, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
It was G.I. Bro. I was looking at those names like Ebony Express sounds like if you go on the internet and do stuff you're not supposed to look, it sounds like it belongs in that.
Yeah. I used to collect wrestling cards when I used to go to preschool. So like back when Sting was like Sting, like with the blue and yellow, the blonde hair, like Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner used to have like the wrestling thing. So like I'm like that's why I kind of remember that. Like
with the G.I. Bro, that one killed me. I was like, yo, this dude G.I. Bro. And they showed the funniest moment when he called Hulk Hogan the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even the funny part. It's the reaction afterwards, because his reaction was just like, shoot. He put his hands on his head. And the girl that was their manager, you could see her face. She was like, her eyes got big. And his brother ain't move. His brother just ain't move at all.
Yeah, man. Harlem Heat, man. They was something else, bro.
It was kind of cool, too, because they were actually brothers. Like, real brothers.
Yes, and that's... Honestly, we need more of that because that whole Undertaker Kane thing
had me thinking they were actually.
And then Undertaker had the twin.
Oh my god!
And they had like you know what I mean? Like, oh man, it was whole. But now that's dope. That other than the Hearts are legendary family in wrestling. But
there's like 30 of them. Literally like 30 of them. And then the Macho Man one. Oh, this dude was like a three sport athlete. I know he played professional baseball for I think they said. And he played for the Cardinals.
Okay.
Played for a couple teams, the minor leagues and stuff like that. He said, when they cut him, he was just like, I'm done with baseball. I'm just going to do the wrestling.
To be honest,
that's the family business.
To be honest, a lot of wrestlers are like failed professional athletes.
Yeah.
Like had the chance to go play NFL and baseball and just didn't work out, or go play in Division I.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Just even Ric Flair was nice. Like there's so many guys that for one.
Flair played football at like Minnesota, right?
He played D1, I think.
Yeah,
but for him to be that big, naturally, like for you guys to be that big, you have to play basically football.
Yeah.
You play football or wrestle. So like, and that honestly, that's what makes wrestling itself. That's what makes wrestling because those guys can take those hits because they're conditioned to do it playing those sports they're playing, and now you just in a controlled environment, controlled chaos. So now it's not going to get too out of hand.
Yeah, and plus you already been working out all your life too. And part of wrestling is a lot of training and working out. I think I was like, that's the easy part is the training.
But I remember I watched the Ric Flair thing. What was it behind the ring? Or what was it?
Yeah, that whole doc they had.
Yeah, he was going to quit. Because it was so hard. The training they went through that building and stuff. Like,
because they had that thing where the stairs, somebody holding you, and you had
the wheelbarrow. Carry somebody up the stairs. Like it was like probably totally different than what it is now.
Yeah.
Like probably totally different.
And that's 2 weeks in a row we've talked about wrestling. Wrestling.
You should make it 3.
Yeah, we probably will because the Heartbreak Kid is this weekend, and Shawn Michaels is one of my favorites. So the showstopper.
And I'll be honest, ain't nothing better than wrestling from the 80s and the 90s. Early 2000s, but after that,
ain't nothing like wrestling fans from the 80s and the 90s, because they were some reckless people bringing their children to that show and all of them acting a fool. The whole family's acting a fool.
But The Rock and Stone Cold, they're like early 2000s too, though. So that's why I say, like, kind of when SmackDown started, that's what I'm done.
Yeah.
When SmackDown started, it's a wrap.
Yeah, like, the first part of SmackDown, like, early SmackDown was pretty cool in there.
When they changed the day.
Yeah.
And
that's when that was like, you know what they need to change the day of? What they need to do? They need to not let the Celtics play in this play-in tournament. Everything's just been going bad to worse from this team. So the second leading scorer is down for the season with a torn ligament in his thumb, which is a bad hit for them. They've just been trending this way. A bad hit for him too, because he was having a good year for him, because instead of improved this year a lot. And as I'm saying, the worst way to get injured is when it's not even your legs, not even like a shoulder or anything, it's your thumb. It's like, damn. It's
like an injury that you feel that you should be able to play with because your whole body is able.
Yeah.
Except for one finger.
Yeah.
So it's just tough to watch. He's probably doing like little stuff with his offhand. Like,
yeah.
But in an NBA game, it's tough to play a whole NBA game with one hand, like especially your offhand.
Especially when people know that you kind of you're kind of hampered a little bit. So and they can get physical with you because I don't know if it's a shooting hand or not, but if it's a shooting hand and it's just like, I can't. I'm pretty much useless.
But you can't even catch.
Yeah.
You can't really do. You don't have to slap the ball down. It's just you're a liability while you're out there. That's why they're not going to put you out there.
Yeah, I think it happened against the Blazers or the game before that, and it's just it's just been bad for them.
And ligament injuries you don't want to play with. You want them things to heal. Like I said, I had a mallet finger.
Yeah.
Which I tore the ligament, hand just flopped down. I had to keep it straight for 7 weeks, so I know what that's like.
And it's like those ligament things, you just have to let it heal. Because it's really, they have a timetable, but you just literally have to wait until you actually feel normal.
And I had to do therapy with this little fingertip. I felt like a dummy. Just because I had a trainer legit bending my fingertip for me. Like, yeah, I had to.
Yeah, so it's a tough break for the Celtics, especially going down. I mean, the season's about to be over too. Play-in tournament starts next week. But
honestly, though, I don't even think they even care because the way they're playing basketball, like they don't care. For one, there's no reason why the Heat should have 6 guys in double figures and your leading scorer coming off the bench, Tyler Hero. There's no reason why you're shooting 37 threes. Like what? Like you're getting out rebounding, you're shooting 37 threes. Like
last night, Tyler Hero, Goran Dragic, and Duncan Robinson were 14 of 22 from 3 at one point. And it seemed like every single one of their threes, they were wide open.
As a team, they shot
absolutely wide open.
As a team, they shot 59%, and from 3, they shot 53. Like, that ain't supposed to happen for a full game.
At all. But you could expect that when you're just leaving them wide open. It's just, I mean, I've said this happened a couple years ago when they quit against the Bucks in the second round. It's looking like the same thing. And my thing is, how many times in the last couple years are we going to see the team quit and no drastic changes happen? Because that's usually what happens in sports.
And too, you can honestly you can say they quit because they were outscored every other quarter except for the first. Meaning, y'all just was like kind of whatever. Only positive you have. You know, Walker's getting his numbers. He's getting his shots up. You know what I mean? He had 36, 7 and 4. Tatum staying consistent, 33, 8 and 6. So
and then everything drops from there.
Yeah, I mean, but you need them guys to stay consistent so you can build off them.
Yeah. Also, here's the lows of the lows. They let the Bulls score 60 points in the first half on them. I believe it was Friday. The Bulls. The Bulls that are like 28 and 39 and got their behinds whooped by 132 to 96. Like that's
a little ridiculous because I would say like wins and losses I don't get too deep in because they're all pros.
Yeah,
and they're all good, but like that's a drastic point difference.
And I don't know if you saw this, but they put out a lineup to start the fourth quarter with Kemba Walker, Aaron Naismith, Carson Edwards, Grant Williams. and Marcus Smart to start the fourth quarter last night. That was the lineup they trotted out.
He still has a job? You got 3.
Yeah, it's just like we're just gonna try anything at this point in the season.
Yeah, it's time. Yeah, it's time for him to move on.
Because I'm just like, you know what, play in tournament or whatever. Because it's just gonna end soon. It's gonna end soon, and there's gonna be some drastic changes that needs to be made for this team. I was talking to later on in the interview segment. I was talking to Celtics reporter. I said they need a jerk on the team.
Yeah. Because Marcus Smart used to be one to a certain extent, but now he ain't. But honestly, it's like not allowed to be a jerk anymore. Like people are so weird on like how you make other people feel. Like, yo, as long as you make me feel a certain way, I'm cool with how you treat other people.
Yeah.
Like,
like, because y'all get during the interview segment,
But honestly though, you just said about them quitting and about him just throwing out whoever. So it just seems like it's starting from the coaching staff down, because like if you just to give up on your team and just put whoever out there.
I would say it would start from the guy who made the decisions to the coach and then down. Danny Ainge, he's been getting a lot of passes, from getting all these assets and building a championship team and stuff like that.
But my whole thing is like, yeah, Danny Ainge brought us a championship, but we didn't have one since '85. And we had the same type of owners, so like I'm gonna give Danny Ainge somewhat of a pass because like we were almost 30-some years without really winning, or 20-some years without winning. So like you're not always gonna have perfect situations, and all franchises ain't great. There isn't a franchise that's winning every other year. So it's one of them things you guys
except the Lakers when playing the Mavs in the NBA now. That's another story. But that's another story. But yeah, there's definitely gonna be some changes made on this team. They just need like some overhaul. They need to build a better roster. You got your 2 guys. Kemba's getting up there, but he still could give you a level of production. You just need to build around him. Like,
yeah, we've been said that.
Get shooters.
You need a new bench.
Get some damn shooters.
You need size and you need some size and guys that can shoot. Man.
It's something we've been saying for the past couple of years, but apparently nobody want to listen to us. All right, Celtics, they play Cleveland tonight. Let's see what kind of effort they put out tonight, because at this point, watching them, you just have to drink to watch them, because that's disappointing. All right, Russell Westbrook became the all-time leader in triple doubles with 182. He got that against the Hawks the other night, and this was quite the accomplishment, but I think kind of got a little bit overshadowed because his teammate was going off on Twitter about another way Bradley Beal was going off on Twitter on Kent Bazemore. It was kind of hilarious, and then Bradley Beal's wife got involved too. And
didn't he have 50? No, he had 50 that game, right? Or no?
Westbrook?
Nah. Bill, it was a game or 2 ago.
I think a game or 2 ago because he didn't play.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see. I don't even have Twitter, so I don't even know.
Oh no, it was hilarious.
What tweets be going?
It was hilarious. But for Westbrook, this is a big accomplishment just because it hasn't been like his run with the triple doubles. It hasn't been seen since Oscar Robertson, and I don't know how big Oscar was he like bigger than?
No, I think around the same size.
Around the same size.
6'5". I don't think he was that much taller than him. Congratulations to Westbrook, man. Congratulations to Westbrook. I know the only knock they're gonna say about him is him having all these triple doubles and him having the ball as much is that's not a formula to win championships.
Yeah.
But in the world of championships, less is more. So it's either you have less of a hero career and you win your rings, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
or you're a Hall of Fame caliber player.
Yeah.
And you just have all these crazy records.
Yeah, and at this point, it's like, hey, what else is there to do? I mean, I'm playing hard. We're not winning, so I might as well get.
And too, Oscar only won one ring, right?
Yeah.
And he won that with who? Kareem.
Yeah.
So Westbrook's never even had a Kareem. He had KD, but KD wasn't Kareem.
Yeah, he wasn't. And they blew their chances when they got to the finals because they had the chance to win a ring, and they blew that chance. But it's kind of crazy that he could still keep this level of play at his age, and with everything he's gone through, and at his size too, because like you don't see 6'3" guys just.
I don't know why y'all keep saying age like he's 40.
No, because he had some injuries. That's why,
bro,
he's still playing like.
These bodies is different compared to technology, different medicine, different therapy, different. Everything's more improved. You know, I get what you're saying with his knee injuries and stuff, but I don't like. The only thing, you know, like I said, kudos to Westbrook. They say it's easier now to get triple doubles back in before because the criteria of the assists is a little more lenient. So that's the only thing they say is a little easier. But hey, you still gotta go do it though.
If it was easy, a lot of people.
I mean, but it is though.
Yeah.
You can pass the ball, dribble, shoot, compared to when you just had to pass and shoot. That's a difference. Like, what you mean? Like, it's a difference when you can catch and do a move and still score compared to just catching and scoring. It's different. Like, so you had the spoon feed guys back in the day. Now you can give it to them; they can do a little more and still score. You still get credit, which is not a problem. I'm just saying though.
Sometimes assists sometimes people be a little exaggerating with the assists. Like,
what you mean, as in?
I was like, they'll mark something as an assist. You'd be like, is that really an assist? Like, that pass came like three possessions ago. Like,
but that's my point. The criteria isn't as tough as it was when Oscar was playing. So you know what I mean? That's why I said cool. Congrats to him for doing it. Nobody else is gonna do what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know they always say the game's a little easier.
Yeah, it just would have been better if they actually were a good team. But
yeah, I mean they had a chance. They had to play in.
They had to play in, but yeah.
Better than being out to play in. You got a chance, right?
Speaking of the play-in, the play-in scenario right now are as follows. If the season would have ended today or so, the Celtics would have played the Celtics and Hornets would have played.
Got it? All right.
I got it right here.
Right, cool.
Pacers and Wizards would have played. And my whole thing with this whole play-in thing is there's 3 teams with losing records on the East in this scenario. For the West, there's only 1 team with a losing record. So that's my issue with it. But the West is interesting because there's a possibility we might get a Lakers Warriors play-in tournament in the first round, and Lakers and Warriors and Grizzlies and Spurs, which either team's getting swept in the first round. Whoever.
You know, I feel like if your record isn't up to par when you be in the playoff, you shouldn't be allowed to get in the play-in.
I agree with you.
So the Celtics should just get the Celtics and the Hornets should just get whatever. You know what I mean? That should be the playoff picture. But the West, you know what I mean? If your record is kind of close, then there's nothing wrong with the play-in. But even them, like, they're out.
Only 3.
They're out by. Well, the Lakers out by 1 game.
Yeah, the Lakers out by 1 game.
But they're out though.
Yeah.
No, they're not out.
They're
the 7th seed. My bad.
They're the 7th seed.
Oh, my bad. The Grizzlies in San Antonio, they're out.
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't even waste their time playing.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
Yeah, that's my. It should be 1 through 8 in the West because it's like plus those 2 teams and they play. It's like they're gonna get swept anyway. So it's like we want more basketball, but this is just a waste of a lot of people's time.
They want the 82 games.
Man. Plus, the season has already been like a disaster. I wouldn't say disaster. It's just been.
Nah, it's been a disaster.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like COVID lack of bubble disaster. No, it is COVID lack of bubble disaster because it was great in the bubble, but now that you're outside and we're still in COVID, people are getting tore up, injured.
So many safety, health and safety protocols. People are getting out, and it's just like, what are we doing? Like, come on now. But yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's just be 1 through 8, the top 8 teams. Have the playoffs. Let's get it going.
But there was 1 year when the Celtics had to beat the Spurs to make the playoffs. I could see that being like a play-in situation. I don't know if you remember that years ago when Pierce and Walker was playing. I remember that because that's like one of the few times I've seen them. They lost that game, I think, but they had to win it to make the playoffs. So
those are the scenarios you gotta
something like that.
You have an all-important game and end of the season to win it. You gotta win it, but like this whole scenario, I just think it's dumb. It's really dumb. Kind of almost dumb like the NFL adding an extra playoff team, but. That's another story for
a lot of things that are dumb in sports, bro. Like what you about to mention sooner than later.
All right, we're gonna go to a little high school basketball throwback. We're gonna go high school basketball throwback. This is 1988 Lynn Classical versus Salem. Dave Anderson and the boys in the Rams Rick Brunson and the Witches. This game, was actually a good game. I watched the whole thing. It was a good game. So check out these highlights from that game. And we are back. All right, we're gonna get into a little NFL news with some nonsense happening. So, Urban Meyer, the person who I think is terrible human being,
Connect the dots.
former coach of Tim Tebow at the University of Florida, has signed Tim Tebow to the Jacksonville Jaguars as a tight end. And this has the world all raising an eyebrow or just looking at them funny because Tim Tebow hasn't played a snap in the NFL in a while. I think it's been like 8 years since he's played an NFL game. And all of us, out of nowhere, he was doing baseball, minor league baseball and all that. And now he just gets signed to the Jaguars.
He got a call from Urban. That's why I got the job, boy.
Oh,
but last week when I was just talking about them giving him a look, I wasn't appalled by it because I'm just like, just giving him a look. What's the worst they could do? But when I'm hearing them just signing people who haven't played football in almost 10 years, and you won't even give a guy like Kaepernick opportunities, you got rookies that you passed up on in the draft, tight ends that could probably be better than Tim Tebow. You don't even know if Tim Tebow can catch. The only positive I get with this is he's an upstanding citizen. He don't get in trouble compared to some guys that be getting and stuff. He'll deserve more opportunities. He's one of them guys. He don't do nothing wrong. So it's like they're willing to give him an opportunity. He's an upstanding citizen. That's the only thing I can say compared to some guys that get opportunities that aren't upstanding citizens.
So I ain't know being apparently just being an overall good person and not doing something for so long to get you back into whatever you feel you're in. But it's just like at some point you just gotta be like, you gotta let it go. It's like, dude, you're in your early 30s or mid 30s or however old he is. It's like you had your moment, you had that moment and let it go. But him continually being the face of football, the talk of football, because no matter what he does, they're just gonna talk about him. It's like, no, he could be just standing there. It's just always going to be about when's Tebow going to be in, when's Tebow's going to be in, getting all that. Maybe Urban Meyer brought him in just to get some more coverage or attention.
Think about it. It's Jacksonville. It's Florida. Tim Tebow's like a god out there.
Yeah.
He's probably the man out there.
Yeah.
Like, he got more championships than Dan Marino.
I blame the Pittsburgh Steelers for all this. I really do blame the Pittsburgh Steelers for all this. This is all the Pittsburgh Steelers' fault for letting him complete 10 passes in a playoff game and beating them. I looked at the stats from that game. He was 10 for 21. 10 for 21 in a playoff game. This is all the Pittsburgh Steelers' fault. All of this. But
when you said something about, being a good guy and not doing something for 10 years, giving him a, backhanded compliment, like, there's no different than the NBA. they got good guys on their team that, you know what I mean, that they have a great career because they're good people. They're not the best players, but they're good people. The NFL probably needs some better people on their benches.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like,
the thing with the NBA is, it's not guys that's been out of the league for a while. It's guys that's bounced around that are just that are highly spoken of by.
But when you're bouncing around, you ain't playing anyway, so you basically out the league, bro.
Yeah, you're still collecting them.
Yeah, but you basically out the league. You ain't doing nothing, so.
Yeah, but and this brings up another situation. We still have there's a quarterback that led a team to the Super Bowl that has the one time he got a look, the league tried to do some suspect stuff, and he countered their suspect behavior and did something of his own, and it's just like, and then that was it. They was like, see, he's not serious. And then there's another player, Eric Reed, who's not even 30 yet, who's not in the league as well, who should be in the league but they're not. No teams are signing him because of his relationship to that particular quarterback, and it just brings up this whole situation because we're just like, wow, you guys are willingly giving this guy an opportunity, but you won't give these two other guys an opportunity to get signed or make a team or anything.
But remember that this is that sport that you people love. Yeah. You know, I don't respect the sport, so that's why I just speak how I speak about it, because it don't matter to me. You see what they do. I like basketball. Every other sport in the world.
Speaking of sports, DK Metcalf, he had a little interesting weekend, so he wanted to try out his track and field skills at in a track and field event over the weekend. This was a U.S. track and field event with world-class sprinters, and DK, as we all know, he's pretty fast, but he's not track fast. But he held his own. Granted, he came in 15th place, but all the other track stars said he did very well for the first time. Like, ran a 10.37.
And he like 30 pounds heavier than all them dudes?
30 pounds heavier, yeah.
So it's like
30 pounds. Yeah, because the thing with track guys, track guys, they're tall, they're built, but they're lean, they're cut.
Yeah, looking like this.
Yeah, they're cut. So and they have there's a technique to running.
It's like aerodynamic.
Yeah.
You gotta catch all the wind and upright and Michael Johnson.
Yeah,
I used to run like him as a kid.
especially during the beginning, because once you get out, you gotta make sure you keep your strides correct and you can't be low.
In prep school when we did track, when I did my track first couple of weeks, that was my biggest issue, was learning how to start up. You know, I'm fast, but like I'm like just go fast and I'll be whoever. But like you standing up and sitting up and hit, and you gotta pick your head up and your butt up and you gotta push off. It was too much going on.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to get your stuff up, because you can't just once the gun goes off, you can't just bring yourself up. You gotta get up and let the momentum go. As you can see, I did track in high school, so I can speak on this.
I went to St. Mary's. They didn't take track seriously till like years later. They had a program, but it was kind of like a club thing.
Yeah. My only thing with track was the meets were too long. You'd be there all day, hungry as hell, and then you'd have to wait, because you might get done with your event, and then your next event could be way later on. So yeah, track and field games were they were an event in themselves. They were very, very long days. But kudos to DK. I think the fastest guy, the person that got in first place, he ran it was like a 10.11, 10.11. And then you look at Usain Bolt running 9.36s and stuff like that. So it's just like, these dudes are like on a whole different level as far as running and stuff and training for it, because track training is different.
They enjoy running. That's why I never cared for track. Just because I'm not running for no reason. I need, granted, your reason's a race, but I need a goal. I need a basket, something. I need something.
You probably would have enjoyed the high jump.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that event, that one, maybe you get something out of that one. Yeah, but yeah, congratulations to DK on that. Not many people can just go out there in a sport where you don't train for it.
And shame on the NFL for having the nerve to question DK Metcalf when they didn't earn his draft process. He's
like third generation.
Yeah, he's third generation, and he's doing stuff like this, just walking on the track field.
Yeah. Yeah, but they were so concerned about his shuttle time and stuff that don't matter.
Them people with them opinions don't matter. Yeah. They need to get some new people in there.
Yeah, they do. But I actually watched the whole thing. It was good. You know.
I can't believe NFL.
I can't either.
For him to question DK Metcalf, he's doing stuff like this. Like, you have the nerve. I deal with that in school, don't I? Can't do what I do, but question what I do.
Let's go.
Please.
Let's go to the +1 interview and talk with my man, NBA writer, Celtics writer, Josue Pavon. He had to talk me off a ledge pertaining to the Celtics.
He said talk you off?
He had to talk me off the ledge. I asked him if he drinks during the game because...
Oh, okay.
because watching those guys, you gotta drink. The +1 interview, and then we'll come back. Hello and welcome to another edition of the +1 interview. And today we got a friend of the show back with us, Mr. Josue Pavon, NBA writer, Celtics writer at Heavy Sand. How are you doing, sir?
What's going on?
You know.
I'm gonna have to talk you off the ledge. You all right? How's everything, man?
You might have to talk me off a ledge, man. It has
one day at a time, Mukala. One day at a time.
It has been quite the season for this team. That came in with a lot of expectations. We thought after last year's run to the Eastern Conference Finals, like, okay, maybe, this year they'll make that leap. And at this point, I don't even want to see them in the play-in tournament because it's just going to end in disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, Mukala. I mean, the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, was, of course, the news season-ending surgery for Jaylen Brown. But, even heading into Tuesday night's game against the Miami Heat, I wanted to see some more fight from the Celtics. And you know what? We got that in that first half, right? The third quarter told a different story. But I also think that this team, without Jaylen Brown, without Robert Williams, two key guys for that starting five against this striving, red-hot Miami team, I guess this is the new thing now, Mukala, right? I guess these guys, they get their act together or everyone gets focused and everyone's on the same page right before the playoffs, and then they take off and use that momentum. Because that was the case last year, except for this year they took a little longer, right? Last year they took about, I want to say the last 6 weeks, they were the hottest team one of the hottest teams in the bubble. And of course, that momentum carried over into the postseason that took them all the way to the finals. That could very well happen again. Listen, don't get it twisted. This Miami Heat team is a great, great team. They have a chance to get back to the NBA Finals, so the Celtics certainly had their hands full. But when you see what happened last year, when you see what happened Tuesday night in terms of open looks, guys getting late to protect the three-point arc against a lethal shooting team like the Miami Heat, it's frustrating because Celtics fans have seen this throughout the course of the entire regular season. So it sort of highlighted their shortcomings of the season in that second half. And of course, Celtics fans, that comeback that fell short, it's just happened so many times this year. So it's just another reminder of how this team is just not where they need to be in order to contend in this Eastern Conference.
And also, it helps that the Heat, they're finally healthy and got their full roster because early on,
right, Mukala. It's sort of what the Celtics envisioned how their season would end, right? Or at least around this time of the year. And in terms of Kemba Walker, the plan is dead on. Like, it worked. He's playing some of the best basketball we've seen from Kemba Walker in the last few years, not just his time here in Boston. We're talking about, you have to include those last couple of years in Charlotte. I mean, this stretch of games has been as good as any that we've seen from Kemba Walker. And it's unfortunate that, of course, without Jaylen Brown, without this team at full strength, I mean, they really have slim chance to make a deep run in the playoffs. And of course, you see the mindset of this team without Jaylen Brown and the struggles. And it's been a tough season. And you look at the Miami Heat and you see, I'm not going to say what the Celtics could have been, but at least it's frustrating to not find out what this team, at full strength, no injuries would eventually look like. That's what the organization thought they would eventually see. And of course, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah. And my other issue with this team is you giving up 60 plus points in the last 4 games in the first half. Each time.
79 Sunday.
It's 79. Like they don't even try. It looked like they weren't even trying on defense the majority of the time, especially when things aren't going their way. It's just like they easily give up. They look disinterested and don't even want to play defense. They don't communicate. Nobody switches. And
those are the patterns. You've seen it. Yep, you just listed them all. I mean, that's been their identity. It's just not when you look at the talent that this team has, it's frustrating because we want to see it put together. And of course, the hurdles of COVID-19, playing through a pandemic doesn't help. Injuries, that doesn't help as well. But I think most Celtics fans would agree that after that 6-game winning streak, some of those patterns that continue to, I mean, you would have thought that this team was out of that phase, and it just never happened. Is that a question of leadership issues? Sure. Is that a question of some sort of disconnection between the players and the head coach, Brad Stevens? Maybe, possibly. I mean, it's not a good sign. No. Obviously, this team, they're going out there and they're not doing what they're told. So, I mean, does that mean Brad Stevens' voice is lost forever? Not necessarily, but it just doesn't bode well for this season, of course, because you have a core of guys who have been with Brad Stevens for quite some time. I mean, minus Kemba Walker, but you have to be It's
fading. His voice is fading. That's what I
exactly.
take it as. It's just fading away. Here's my other issue with what happened last night. There was a lineup that was trotted out last night. Aaron Naismith, Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Carson Edwards, and Grant Williams to start the fourth quarter. And I just looked at my TV and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, the lineup that was out there, because that's not a lineup that's going to do anything for you. And surely it didn't do anything for them.
Yeah, the experimenting continues. Mukala, between Grant Williams, and Carson Edwards, I mean, Grant Williams, he's going to give you some muscle on the other end, right? I mean, one of the things that I always credit, or I used to credit him more often because I felt like he was going to, get better in this aspect of his game was his ability to stay with the smaller guards, right? Because the Celtics get caught off in the switches and pick and roll. He's not too bad defensively, but offensively, you can see the Celtics are really giving him the green light to keep taking those threes. And right now, they're just not falling. So I can see why Brad Stevens would turn to those guys, especially Carson Edwards, because essentially that's all he's really going to give you is some outside shots and try to counter the Miami Heat's offensive firepower. But I just wanted to see more muscle on the defense. I mean, the Celtics giving up so many open looks. I mean, it's just never, regardless if someone goes off the bench like Carson Edwards, you're just not going to win games like that against the Miami Heat. These guys are killers, man. They got 3 shooters that combine for what was it, 14 3-pointers? Just 3 guys alone. I mean, that's how explosive this offense is. And not to mention Jimmy Butler. Oh yeah, he didn't even play the second half. We'll call it like. And to go back to one last point I want to say about that 79 points in this first half. Have you ever seen an NBA team score 79 points in the first half? I'm not quite sure I have. I think the Golden State Warriors are probably the closest in their heyday. I think they tacked on 75 or 74, something like that in one first half. I think Curry had like 29. Mm-hmm. That's the closest I've seen.
I think I've seen an 81-point first half before. And that was a couple years ago in the postseason. But, not that I can remember like this. Another thing with this team, one of the issues is they started off so strong. They started off 8-2. They were playing very well in the beginning of the season, and then I don't know. At one point, it just seemed like everything just started going downhill. Then you had health and safety protocols, and then it just the inconsistency play, and it was just like, okay, they need to make a move. They need to make a move. They made a move. Wasn't a popular move, or wasn't a move that people thought would put them over the hump, but they made a move anyways, and those moves still aren't looking that good.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing I want to say is heading into this regular season, obviously everyone knew it was going to be a grueling schedule. These guys are playing damn near every other day. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of time for practice when you combine that with traveling and some parts of the schedule was really, really hectic. So I think out of everyone, Brad Stevens is the one that gets hurt the most there, right? Because I think Brad Stevens is the kind of coach that he relies heavily on that time with his team, practice time to really get things going, implement his system, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. And get everyone up to speed and keep everyone intact. And I think Brad Stevens has just struggled with having to adapt to the new NBA life, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, we're hoping this isn't going to be the same for next season, but I think Brad, that really put him in a tough spot because he's just not used to this. I mean, we all know his college background. We all know it took him an adjustment to at the NBA level, which of course he's done such a good job in adjusting and has had a handful of successful seasons. But I think this season, I mean, it's just tough, especially when you're dealing with a younger team. There's not a whole lot of veteran leadership. I know they brought in Tristan Thompson and Jeff Teague. I mean, he's even on the team anymore to sort of help balance that out. But I just think this team needs maybe a little more veteran leadership of guys who are a little more vocal. Yeah. I know that locker room, I don't think it's a divided locker room. I think for the most part, these guys, generally like each other. Yeah. I just don't know if they're going to be able to really challenge each other the way the roster is right now. I mean, I think that's what a lot of the struggles, health and COVID-19, obviously that's number 1 and 2, but I think finding continuity has been tough for Brad Stevens because he sort of has to lay down this groundwork and he's constantly playing catch up, right? So out of everyone, I really, and this of course goes with my belief that I would be shocked if the Celtics, barring the core players going into Danny's office and saying, look, we need a new coach in here. That happens, then yeah, sure. That's just the way of the NBA. I think you probably see Brad Stevens fired. But if that doesn't happen, I just don't see Danny Ainge thinking that what happened this year is enough to say, okay, we need to move on from Brad Stevens. Yeah. It's just a really tough year for him. And I know that a lot of, or at least some Celtics fans don't want to necessarily hear that. Yeah. But it's just with the way Brad Stevens coaches and the way he gets the most out of his guys. Mukala, you know it. He's not going to be screaming at these guys. He's not going to. That's just not how he works. And I don't think that sense of urgency is going to go well. It's going to translate well with these guys because they know Brad Stevens pretty well. Yeah. So in a long form answer, I guess we have to combine with the offseason and what Danny's going to have to do. I think number 1, signing Evan Fournier is a priority right now, and trying to construct the best roster that's going to fit with Brad Stevens' system. I think that's something that these two really have to iron out and spend a lot more time with each other. And I'm not saying that maybe they don't. Maybe last year, maybe they were on the same page. Maybe Brad Stevens was just as excited about Thompson and Teague than, as Danny was. Or maybe that was even his idea to begin with. We're not quite sure. But they have to really start buckling down on what this team truly needs and compared to guys that they can, part ways with and sort of see what they can do here to help this roster, because clearly there's a lot of pieces on this roster that are question marks, and we're not quite sure who's going to really progress and help this team in the long run.
Definitely. They need jerks. That's what they need. They need a couple jerks on the team.
For sure. Some hard-working, guys that are maybe not getting in people's faces, but just keep everyone focused. I know it's sort of like it's easy to say that and hope and wish for that, but the Celtics, they do a really good job of analyzing personalities and putting together guys that won't clash with one another. But I'm looking for this team to sort of start helping one another, or at least like empowering one another. And again, maybe these are conversations that the core players need to start having more with Brad Stevens. I just think something drastic needs to change in the sense of their approach, whether that means Brad Stevens getting new personnel or bringing in new guys, or whether that means some of these leaders, starting to be more vocal and sort of grab the mantle here.
Yeah, definitely. And just got a couple minutes left quickly before we get out of here. Quickly, what do you make of the first, just quickly on this one, Romeo Langford and Aaron Naismith? I need your thoughts on them. And also, what do you make of these thoughts with Celtics fans wanting to trade Jaylen Brown quickly?
Too soon for the Jaylen thing, man. Danny Ainge saw this thing like 7-8 years ago. It's like he really wants to see this thing through to its maximum. And I don't know if a full season in the middle of a pandemic is enough for him to say, okay, it's time to split these two. Neither one of them has hit their prime, if you ask me. And both of them took a stride this year. I think Jaylen's was significantly larger, but to a certain extent, I think Jason Tatum, both of those guys still have obviously another notch in their game. So you have to see that through. What I'm afraid of is one of them asking, you know what, I don't see my future here anymore. I want out. I think that's something that's in the back of Danny Ainge's mind as well. So again, I think that's why he has to make sure that the relationship between those two and the head coach, he has to make sure it's rock solid and that they're constantly communicating with one another. I always had this ongoing joke with CLNS Media, or the post-game show, the Garden Report, that I'm like, those two need to have an uncomfortable conversation. I used to always say that about Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. And I just, like, I don't want to say that I think that these two don't like each other, but I just don't know how strong that bond is. And I think that that's so important for this team. Of course, Kemba Walker is an important voice in there. Marcus Smart. I mean, those four, they have to start really being honest with one another. Otherwise, I think Danny Ainge is going to have to start, taking steps towards breaking that core up, and maybe not necessarily breaking up the two All-Stars, but trying to find a way to strengthen the roster if it's just not working. I mean, that's just what you do in the NBA.
Yep. All right. My man, thank you once again. Always great having you on. Plug your social media before we leave.
Oh, yeah, of course, guys. Follow me on Twitter at Joe_Sway. Follow heavy on Celtics if you want to be up to date with all the articles, man. We have daily content. It's on Facebook. I write for heavy.com, of course. And we got the Cedric Maxwell podcast. We have a brand new episode this week, and Causeway Street as well.
All right. That is my man, Josue Pavon, Celtics writer, NBA writer. He didn't talk me off calm me down a little bit, so I'm going to get myself together. But Celtics play again tonight. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Josue, for that. Celtics hangover. Those dudes are dreadful. All right, we're going to do some high school football matchup. Last Friday was the 107th meeting between Lynn Classical and Lynn English over at Manning Field. It wasn't Thanksgiving, but the weather out there sure felt like it was Thanksgiving because I was cold out there, man. I was freezing. English came out with the 14-6 victory, so check out the highlights.
Let's go! Let's go! Yes, sir!
We did that. We did that. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh, lot of East Side! Oh, lot of East Side!
And we are back. Gee, the stuff that don't make the show, y'all be missing out.
Quality stuff too.
Lord have mercy. All right, let's go around the world of sports. Okay. Today, apparently, the NFL is releasing their schedule, so some notable matchups to start the season. Week 1, the first game of the season is Cowboys at Tampa Bay, fittingly. Of course, they'd have Cowboys play the opener.
For what?
Because they know Cowboys fans are going to be tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
That's ratings. Them ratings.
Them guys are oblivious.
Right. I told you one time I was at a bar. This was a couple years ago. I was at a bar. And the Cowboys came to town. They were playing. When they was playing the Pats, I was just at a bar chilling. And there was these Latino dudes from Texas I'm like, what y'all here for? I'm like, what y'all here for? Oh, we came to see the Cowboys. I'm like, y'all came to see the Cowboys lose? He's like, no. I'm like, y'all took a trip all the way from Texas to Massachusetts just to see the Cowboys lose, and the weather's not good out, and the weather's terrible outside. I'm like, man.
You went from the heat to the cold.
Yeah, and it was like raining that whole weekend too.
You know what? Shout out to them fans. They deserve that. They deserve that rain.
Yeah. And the Cowboys did end up losing their game too.
Anything else would have been uncivilized.
All right, the Patriots and Dolphins will open the season up. This will be at home. It'll be like in that 4:20 game. It's the second time these two teams open this season. Browns versus Chiefs. That's another notable game because apparently people still riding this Browns wave, thinking they're gonna make the Super Bowl. Just give us Odell first, please. Give us Odell. We need him. Y'all don't know how to use him.
Excuse me. No, they don't.
We could use him. And then Monday Night Football, Ravens versus Raiders, which should be interesting. But we'll see. So whole schedule is being released tonight. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff about that. This was pretty sad. Former Hawaii quarterback Colt Brennan, he passed away. What's today? Wednesday? I believe on Monday at age 37. Passed away. They said they found him unconscious. He was bad. He was going through some stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, he was going through.
I just remember him having all them records.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, what?
Yeah, he was going through some stuff, and then like his last post, it was like he just talked about how he's bettering himself, getting better at life, just all that stuff. He overcome the addiction, the injuries, and stuff.
I hope he didn't take his life though. Because I feel like that's like a letter kind of. Man, hopefully he did.
Yeah, hopefully he did.
But prayers go out to his family, anybody that supported him, that was around him.
Yeah, I watched a couple Hawaii games because I ain't no way I was staying up till like 1 o'clock to watch their games.
I know about him. That boy was. I mean, I'm always up that time, but that boy's something else.
All right, the Red Sox, they lost to the Oakland A's yesterday 3-2. Chris Bassett of Oakland, he struck out 10 batters, so they're back at it tonight. But the Red Sox are still in first place in the AL East, and we're still getting nice weather.
I was gonna say it's been kind of cool, but it's still nice out, so it must not be that bad yet.
NHL, the Bruins, they lost to the Washington Capitals 2-1. Their next game is this Saturday. Actually, they're gonna play this Saturday, I believe, in the afternoon. So playoffs start soon, so let's Bruins, y'all need a chip, man. It's been 10 years. Y'all have gotten close a few times. I still remember.
Listen how we sound. It's been 10 years. Some teams ain't won nothing.
I know. Well, and then there was also that year when they had it, and next thing you know, 30 seconds later.
Yeah, I remember. Because Drew was like, oh, and then I was like, what happened? Oh, it's what? I was like,
I went to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I come upstairs. Next thing I know, I just see the Blackhawks holding the trophy, and I'm just like, what the hell just happened in this game?
I was sick, too.
Yeah. Oh, damn you, Chicago Blackhawks.
For real, man.
Okay, boxing. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have a fight set for August. I think they don't have the exact date in August, but it's going to be in August in Saudi Arabia, of all places.
Yo, Anthony, you better get ready. Fury coming for you.
I'm surprised people aren't tired of seeing these dudes fight every damn year.
They haven't fought yet.
Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury?
Fury? Nah. It was, what's his name? The other dude.
Oh, Wilder.
Yeah, they haven't fought yet.
They haven't?
Nah.
I thought they fought once or twice.
Nah, they haven't fought yet.
Oh. Whatever.
He fought Ruiz again. Whatever his name is.
Oh.
And got his title back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. I was wrong. I thought.
Nah, they ducking Tyson. They don't want nothing. They don't want no smoke with Fury.
Well, okay. Well, I was wrong. I had the fighters mixed up. Joshua and Fury in August. Saudi Arabia of all places. Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
Let me double check though.
MMA. Anderson Silva says his MMA career is all but pretty much over.
Who?
Anderson Silva.
Okay. I mean, now?
I mean, I thought it would have been over after he broke his leg. I guess he was still holding on, but he had a good career. He had a good run, a good title run. But yeah, sometimes you just got to know when to call it quit. All right, and this one, college basketball news. Patrick Baldwin Jr. He committed to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee to play for his dad. kind of interesting because he had offers from Duke, Georgetown, and Virginia. So.
They're gonna put you in the best position to succeed.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that, and if you don't, transfer on them. You don't understand?
It's just business. It's just business.
He got recruit over you anyway, so you got to make sure you straight.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, good luck to you out there. Good luck to you all
It's
out
always
there.
interesting for players to play for their dad. I always find that very interesting.
Well, because we grow up with the Pop Warner football quarterbacks being no good playing for their daddy. So like we were like, hold up, and then we're like, ah, he good enough, he nice. Like, he can play. But like, we don't come from coaches' kids being good.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah. But it also helps that your dad could show you some of the tools to play to get to Division I level play back to get you to be a Division I athlete. So that's kind of a cool thing. So hopefully it works out for him and he can make it to the league. High school sports, Lynn High School girls soccer, they are in the GBL Cup Finals. That will be happening tonight. They'll be playing that tonight. So yeah, congratulations to them. High school football classical is at Everett on Friday. Good luck. Good luck. English is at Chelsea. This is the last game of the season for both teams in the shortened 4-game season. So good luck to both teams. I'll probably be at English in Chelsea because I'm not trying to go to Everett and watch the Lynn team get embarrassed. Sorry, but this is just facts. That's it for high school sports, and that's it for our update. So let's go to NBA Top 10, and then we're gonna come back and wrap this thing up. All right, and we are back. Okay, that's all we got. I feel like we're forgetting something.
The Lynn Y opened up this week, everyone. Come support. Get you a free pass if they're offering it.
Oh, I just got it. I had them free passes because I was filming the luncheon and I was.
Oh yeah.
They had them on the boxes, so I was just asking people, you gonna use that? You gonna use that?
Well, they probably got something going on for the, the opening for the Y. They probably got some little what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think today. Some little like a coupon deal or something. Maybe. Yeah,
something.
Yeah, I can't think of the word. The show's over anyway, so I ain't tripping.
And on that note, make sure you follow him on Instagram at Mr. Burton23. Follow me on Instagram, Mukala K, LCTV After the Whistle, Lynn Community Television Facebook page, Lynn Community Television YouTube channel, lyntv.org. Go on that. Tonight, I don't know. We're out of here. We're out of here. Bye. See y'all next week.